Hail to you, my champions. Hey guys, how are you doing? I hope I find you well wherever you are, whenever you are. This is the second part of our third episode for the SAP podcast. This is the catch up. As you know, this is the English part of the podcast. And today, as usual, I have here with me the almighty Andy. How are you, Andy?
Hello. I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking.
Also with us in this second part of the episode is Alessandro. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello's there. Everything right from here? What about ya?
Everything okay here? Also, a shout out to Bruna, who is our technician, who is the person responsible for everything working here, right? So, hello, guys. Once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are, wherever you are. If you are listening to us at your homes, in your car, maybe at the gym, I hope we find you well there and eager to listen to some interesting and spooky stories, maybe, right? Because it's Halloween time, and we are going to be talking about series, or maybe also making references to movies that are part of a specific style of movie, and it is that is directly related to the topic of Halloween. Today, we are going to be talking about our favorite horror series. Okay, and I suppose every person has their favorite horror series if you enjoy this type of production, right? I myself am a fan. I am a fan of horror stories, horror movies. I have my personal favorite movies in this style. For example, I am a fan of The Exorcist. It's in my opinion, one of the best horror movies of all times. And of course, I have my favorite series in this genre. Okay, but I'm going to start with Alessandro today. Alessandro, are you going to be talking about your favorite series to us?
One of them, right? I must say that I have been raised, let's say, watching horror movies because, guys, I was born in the 80s and I grew up during the 90s. So the TV at that time, guys, was no man land. So when I was a kid, when I was like 9, 10 years old, in the afternoons, you could watch horror movies on the normal TV. Okay, so I remember there was something called Cine Trash at 2:15 afternoon. The host was Joe Coffin, in Portuguese Zero Caixão, and he was there showing us kids horror movies in the afternoon, and very gore horror movies, the B movies, let's say. So for me, it was like a school for myself. I learned a lot with those movies, and nowadays I don't like so much anymore. Like I like horror movies, but not as I used to. But horror series, I enjoy a lot, and I have many. Many favorite ones. But today I'm going to talk about one of them that I really like. That is The Walking Dead. Okay, have you ever watched it, guys? The Walking Dead.
Yes, I have. I have watched at least the first 5 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, I have, and I remember I used to enjoy it a lot.
Okay, have you, Andy?
Only one episode.
What happened? You got scared? You got disgusted? What happened?
Yes, both scared, disgusted. So this is not the kind of series that attract my
Okay,
attention.
so let me ask you, Andy. You watched the pilot, like the very first episode, or like ever of The Walking Dead, and you didn't get attached to it.
Yes, actually, afraid me that one.
The first one is one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Right, Days Gone By is like probably among the top 5 episodes ever of any series, not only horror series, okay? Any series, because it's just that good. It's like the quintessential zombie horror series episode ever. you have everything there. You have the drama, you have the thrilling, you have the acting, you have the plot and the story. So yeah, like the way I am talking about it, I got overexcited about talking about that first episode. The way I'm talking about it,
what? Okay, all
yeah,
right.
like people are gonna think that I am the
Number
greatest
one fan.
fan ever. Yes, but that's not like that. But I am really emotionally attached to that episode because I think that it's really that good. So I'm sorry, Alessandro, but you can continue.
Now the Walking Dead fans will judge me, but seriously, I watched the first one that I thought, zombies. No, come on.
Yeah, you need to be in zombies, right? Yeah, and that's why I like too much. So maybe people that are listening to us, they have never heard about Walking Dead. I don't know if it's possible these days, but maybe. So guys, Walking Dead, it's a series about a zombie apocalypse, right? Something that is very common in our media these days. And it was released in 2010. And the last episode was last year, November 20. They released the last episode. So the series is over, but there are many spin-offs, right? And now we have 4, if I'm not wrong, 4 spin-offs of the same franchise, let's say. And so why I like that one so much? First of all, I told you about the cine trash, and one of my favorite movies from that program, let's say, was Night of the Living Dead, the remake from 1990 by Tom Savini, one of my heroes. Tom Savini, he is a guy that works with the special effects, especially for violent movies, let's say. So he works a lot with Tarantino, and he was working with George Romero. I need to talk so much today. George Romero, guys, created the zombies that you know. If you ever watched a zombie movie or you have ever played a zombie game, it because of him. Because zombies, guys, is something new in our culture. We didn't have zombies in the past. We had something like that, but zombie like we think today, people that eat other people and say, oh, brains. No, they started with the Night of the Living Dead in 68, if I'm not wrong, when George Romero directed his first movie. And it was like for inches, we didn't get it because they were thinking about creating a movie about alien teenagers that came to Earth to eat people. And then we don't have money, we don't have budget to create a spaceship. So we need to change that. Okay, instead of aliens, let's put like the dead eating people. Oh, let's do that. It's cheaper. We can go to a graveyard and they did that. So imagine, guys, they could have done a very terrible movie about alien teenagers eating people, but they didn't have money to do that.
Yes, in many cases, genius comes through adaptation. They needed to adapt something, and then they created like it was an idea of a genius, right?
Yeah, and they didn't have any money even to buy the rights. So the Night of the Living Dead, if you want, you can watch for free anywhere because there's no copyright. They didn't have money to pay to have copyright. So they released that movie. By the way, we are recording these guys today. It's the 1st of October. And exactly 55 years ago, they were releasing the first episode. The first statement of the Night of the Living Dead. But I diverge. So in the cine trash, there is this movie, a very common movie, The Night of the Living Dead by Tom Savini, that was a remake of George Romero movies. And talk about that. There is a brother and a sister. They are in a graveyard. And then the dead come to life and try to eat them. They go to a house and etc. And I was very afraid, very scared of that. I had nightmares a lot with that movie because a very, very well done movie. And so I always liked this idea of zombies, and then many other movies I watched, and I really enjoyed that. Resident Evil, not the movies, but the games I used to play a lot. And then when they said there was a comic book about that, remember Walking Dead was a comic book before, so I started reading the comics, and I was like in my intermediate level of English. So I was reading in English. I was so excited. Oh my God, I can read that in English. And then in 2010, they released the series about it. And look that who was there who worked with them. Greg Nicotero, that is a friend of Tom Savini. They work together all the time. And so, okay, one of my movie heroes is going to produce this series. I'm going to watch for sure. And so since then, I have watched all the episodes already. And of course, there are some high and lows sometimes. Daniel told me that he stopped when Negan, one for me now is one of the best characters ever, appeared. Most people, not most, but many people stopped watching when Negan appeared because he was I can't say the bad words here, but he was a very crap guy there. So everybody hated him with good reasons. He was made to be hated. And so I think it's a very nice one because of that. And especially because not just horror, it's more about, let's say, it's a drama. It's about our society, the collapse of our society that one day maybe will happen. Not like with zombies, but Romero, when created the zombies, the idea was to criticize our way of life. So they have one movie called Dawn of the Dead that the guys go inside a mall to have like a safe place. And so he criticizes our society with zombies, with horror, with gore, with guts flying away, flying by. So I think it's very nice because of that. What would happen?
Talking about Dawn of the Dead, it's also very recommended, right? It's recommended. I think it's an excellent movie too, about the topic on zombies.
Yeah, it depends. Are you talking about the original one or the 2004?
I'm talking about the 2004. I'm talking about the remake. I think it's an action-packed thriller. Okay, horror movie. I like that version.
Yeah. The 2004 is also good. The original one is a little different, but it's good, right? The let's say the philosophy is a little stronger than the old ones. Now we need some, like you said, action-packed something, but. I really like this kind of story. That's why I enjoy Walking Dead so much. Now I'm very excited because there is a spin-off called That City. That when Negan, this guy that everybody hates, he's going to New York after the zombie apocalypse, right? So I'm going to watch maybe after the episode here, after we record. I'm going to watch the first season to see how was that. I think for me it's one of the best ones when you talk about horror. As Andy said, it's very disgusting because it's very violent and gore, but I don't know. I like this kind of thing to watch like this. Like, imagine if you were there, what would you do? How can you rebuild the society and etc. Right.
It's a very interesting topic, and as for a person who has already had some touch, who has kept in touch with anarchism, for example, and with post civilization anarchism, watching a series that is based on the fall of civilization, on the fall of the collapse of civilization and modern society. This is something really good. Like you try to imagine, it works as a laboratory of how things would work after such a collapse. I already have two questions in line to ask you, and I suppose Andy also has some questions to ask you about The Walking Dead. I'm going to start with the first one, and it's about the series itself. I suppose you have a favorite character in the series. What is or who is your favorite character in the series?
Yeah, people are gonna hate me, but I love Negan because of the story of the guy. When you watch the first time, if you watch Walking Dead and you see Negan for the first time, the things he does, he did actually now, because in the past, you probably will get very angry with him. But when the story goes on, he changes, and then we have like some flashbacks. You can see what happened with him in the past and why he became what he was. And as you said about anarchism, He was in a world that there is no rule anymore. If you want to survive, you need to be tough. And so that's why he's so tough like that. And so now my favorite one is Negan. In the beginning, I used to like Dario, as everyone that watches Walking Dead probably likes Dario. That's why he has now a spin-off about him. So Darius is like the lone wolf of the people there. So he goes alone and kills zombies, and he never misses, etc. But after a while, okay, he's a shallow character. That's why Negan, I like Negan more these days because of that. He's not like so shallow. He has many different aspects. If you see, I think that's it. Negan for me, it's my favorite one.
Nice, cool. I'm gonna go with the second question. Now I'm gonna mix two universes. Okay, still in the zombie topic. Okay, still talking about The Walking Dead, but also bringing another series to the conversation. I'm gonna mention The Last of Us. How would you compare The Walking Dead and The Last of Us? Because watching The Last of Us, what we have there, like the main enemies of in the series are like zombie-like creatures, but they are not the standard type of zombie. The classic ones. They are quite different because they have suffered some biological mutations that brought them to the current state that they are. But looking from outside to both series, how would you compare there? Because they are both very dramatic, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're very different because I think the Last of Us follows other way. They don't have so many violent scenes, for example. We have, but not so many like Walking Dead. If you compare, guys, it's like how can I explain that? It's like Walking Dead is like a B old movie. That's why I like it so much, because they exaggerate a lot in the blood and the gut. And The Last of Us, look the actors first, right? Pascal is like an amazing actor, a very famous actor. And if you look to The Walking Dead characters, most of the actors, at the time when they started, of course, now they are famous because of Walking Dead, but they were like unknown actors, people that, okay. And of course, I think they choose to follow this story more focus oriented into just two characters. If you think about The Last of Us is like about the guy that I forgot his name, and the lady that I forgot her name neither too. So it's about them, the both of them fighting together to survive. And in Walking Dead, no, you have like a community. You have many characters trying to survive. In the beginning, I think there are 7, then they have more, then they have few, but it's like more a community. And that's why I think Walking Dead has so many seasons. I can imagine The Last of Us having like 11 seasons because there are just 2 main characters. You can keep with them all the time like that. Not like, maybe you're going to talk, if you have time, about Mulder and Scully, 2 characters that were together for a long time. But no, it's different. In Walking Dead, you don't have like a main character. You have in the beginning, but then it changes to other, they change to other. Then you see that the main character is not there. It's like about the community, right? But they are similar because they have zombies. But the zombies, as you said, they are very different. In Walking Dead, they are very slow zombies. If you can run from them, of course, they don't get tired, so maybe they can get you. But in The Last of Us, they are faster, they are stronger. And if I needed to choose, okay, you need to live in one of these. Walking Dead for sure, because I can run faster than the zombies, right?
Yeah, actually, you need to be careful with them grouping together. That's the real problem when the zombies get in groups. And in The Last of Us, they are much deadlier, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said, they have mutations. So, and that part, I need to confess, I didn't like so much. That's why I didn't like the Resident Evil movies, not movies, but the games. There was something at the games that I hated. That was about the mutations, because I am a George Romero fan, so I like the dead guy walking there, and that's it. no like a super mutant with many arms and stuff, and he can vomit acid and explode up. I prefer the traditional one, or I don't know. He's like a plant man. Okay, I enjoy that one. Or they have like the guys that from The Last of Us. They have like some, I don't know, something that they clap here. I don't know what is that, but like a clamp, right? They clap here, and they can like use the sound to see something. So I enjoy The Last of Us, of course, I enjoy, but some people are gonna hate me, but I prefer Walking Dead in this point here.
And I think the main difference, we can say that The Last of Us is more focused on the drama of the personal lives of the characters, and The Walking Dead focus a lot on the drama, but there's also the part that is related to a typical horror movie, which is the violence and the blood and the gore. So The Last of Us is a little bit more of like a dramatic series, right?
Yeah, and I want to finish with one of a quote from Walking Dead that I was talking about: run faster. I don't need to run faster than the zombies. I need to run faster than you. If the zombies get you, okay. All right. So
that's quite selfish, isn't it?
Yeah, but that is Walking Dead. Selfish. If you want to survive in a world like that, you can't take care about every single one. Other quotes from Walking Dead: it's not a democracy anymore. Rick Grimes said that once. It's not a democracy anymore because, like you said, it's an anarchism world with what we can do. So yeah, guys, if you want to survive, you need to be a little tough, a little mean in this Walking Dead world and The Last of Us world for sure. But I think that's it, guys. I'm a huge fan of zombies since I was a child, so that's why I love Walking Dead so much. Of course, not just my favorite. I like many others, but this one for today, I choose this one here.
Okay, so Angie, darling, while Alessandro was talking about the Walking Dead, when he started referring to the series, you told us that you have just watched the first episode and then you gave up, right? So what I know is that your favorite horror series of all times is not The Walking Dead, right? So which one is it?
First of all, before I answer your question, I was thinking here, Alessandro said something, then I was thinking here, if I were there, then I thought, if I were there, for sure, I'm going to be the first one who died. For sure.
Well, you would be one of the first zombies, actually.
That's it. All right. Now answering your question. As Alessandro said, it's not my favorite in my whole life, but related to this topic from today is Supernatural. Have you ever watched it, boys? Supernatural.
Yes. So I have watched Supernatural until season 5, and I have a box set with all the 5 seasons, and so I watched all I used to watch them. The episodes on DVD at the comfort of my house, right, in the living room, and I used to love it. Okay, I used to love it. But then, starting season 5, I started having the impression, and of course, it's a personal impression, that maybe the story could end there, and that's one of the questions that I'm going to ask you later on about, like, what makes people continue watching Supernatural after the 5th season? I'm really curious with your answer.
The actors, right? The actors.
Yes, I have 2 answers: Sam and Dean.
Okay.
Sam and Dean Winchester.
Now people will see how old me and Daniel are, because I remember when they released the Supernatural in 2005, and they released in Brazil. We didn't have like internet like these days. We used to have very bad internet connection, and so we couldn't download even pirate ones, no. And they didn't have like DVDs yet, but they released on the not public TV, but open TV here in Brazil. And it was, I think, SBT after like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was very late, and I watched the first episode and remember that the next time I saw Daniel. This is a very good series because There are two guys. They have like a nice car. They listen to rock and roll music. They
And
listen.
that was the argument. That was
Yeah.
the argument that he used to convince me to watch it. Man, it's rock and roll. Sometimes they play heavy metal there. You have to watch it. And
The
of
first
course,
episode they finished with Black Sabbath. So
Yeah.
come on, and they kill monster. And I remember saying it's like X-Files. And so, but we don't have like Mulder and Scully. We have two brothers
No
killing
aliens.
demons. Yeah. And so I must confess that I watch it like I don't watch it 5 seasons. I think I watched 5 episodes, but then they stop. No, they stop. I think they continue, but even later, like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I couldn't watch because I was working the next morning. So for me, it was terrible. And so I thought, okay, one day I will be back and I watch this thing. But after some time, they have like, I don't know how many seasons they have.
15 if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
15.
And so,
15, yeah.
Seasons.
If I'm
yeah.
not wrong. The last one was 2 years ago.
Let
2
me
or
check.
3,
Holy crap.
2020, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, so I have a problem. When I start watching something, I need to watch everything about it. So if I would watch that 15 seasons, I thought, no, it's too much. It's better not to start. Not now because I have something to do. So one day maybe I will do that. But let me see. Yeah, 15 seasons. I saw
Yes.
15 seasons. Yeah. So that's why I haven't watched it yet, right? And so, but let Andy talk about what is the series about. People don't know the series.
Yes, Andy. And Supernatural it is. So why? Why is it Supernatural your favorite horror series ever?
So the show follows 2 brothers, right? Sam and Dean, the Winchesters. They travel across the America into a Impala, Chevy Impala. I'm not sure about the pronunciation, but it's Chevy Impala, so nice. In the beginning, there's a very nice song. I can't remember the name now because I'm very bad with names, but I used to sing together. Don't you cry no more.
Okay, it's oh my God, Daniel, help me here.
I
My
don't know the
words
name.
gone.
It's
This
very
is
nice.
this is a song by a band called Kansas, right?
Yeah.
And it's called "Carry On, a Wayward Son."
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
carry on. Mhm. Yeah.
So they try to. This is based in urban legend, right? And they try to investigate and try to combat paranatural problems. I think it's better to say,
Mhm.
right? Like vampires and things
Demons.
related. Yes, demon,
Angels.
angels. It's very nice. You can see in that series that angel is not so good as we think.
Yeah, and what I said before, if you ever watch the guys X-Files, I know that Daniel used to watch that one. The premise is the same, like 2 guys, actually a woman and a man, Scully and Mulder, and they do also the same. They try to solve some mysteries and kill some monsters sometimes. And that's why I watched the first episode and I was, oh my God, it's like X-Files, but in a new way of telling the story. They are not like part of the government because in the X-Files, they are from FBI. So they are cops, but here they are not cops. They are like normal people. And that's why I think, Andy, you should try X-Files on nature because it's like is the grandfather of Supernatural.
If there's not too much blondie like in The Walking Dead, I can try.
I think less than Supernatural, I believe, because it's like 30 years ago. So TV was not like today.
Where can I watch this nowadays? Do you know?
Good question. I need to check, but if I'm not wrong, on Star Plus, I think you can watch on Star Plus because they are from Disney now. So let me check here while we talk.
And while Alessandro checks the information, I had 2 questions to Alessandro, and Angie, I have 2 questions to you, right? So I'm going to ask you the first question. The first one is very similar to the question I asked Alessandro about favorite characters, but in this case, you told us that the reason why you watch Supernatural is Sam and Dean. Okay, which one is your favorite?
Oh, of course, Sam, because he is more intelligent than Jim.
Is a
And
study.
yes, and he studies law at the beginning. So, and because I think, very, being very honest with you, he's so handsome too. Jesus, come on.
He's
Is
cuter
the
than
younger
the.
or the older brother?
The older.
The older.
No,
Okay.
sorry, the younger. Sorry,
The
the
younger?
younger. He's the taller, but the younger.
Okay, all right. Okay. I check here. You can watch X-Files on Amazon Prime Video and, of course, in Star Plus because they are from Disney now. So I skipped the pilot one. The first episode is terrible, but after that is good.
And this is a very interesting thing to say to me because I used to give up on the first one, the pilot one, right?
Don't do that. And you said, okay, you're to talk about your favorite character, but do you have a favorite episode? Like one episode or a season that season is the best one?
Episode exactly not exactly one, but I like the different ones. For example, there's one in totally black and white. This is amazing for me.
And this one was based in an X-File. Did I checked it? Yeah.
This was amazing. There's one that they came back to Western time. So very nice too.
Yeah.
These the different ones.
I recommend you. I haven't watched this one, okay, but I was just checking before our recording here. There is one episode from season 6, episode 9, from Supernatural that was a homage to X-Files. Including the opening credits, they are like the classical X-Files opening, including the sound in the background. So they did like it was but they did something like sitcom too. Opening like a sitcom was.
Yes, there's one like this too.
Yes, so that's why I think they are so similar to X-Files, because X-Files we had some serious episodes, but we had many comedy episodes, let's say.
Yeah, like we are talking about the comic relief, right? It's something that is very common on Supernatural. I remember, for example, the Christmas episode. The Christmas episode was like a comic relief episode, right?
Yeah, but in X-Files had many too. Like you were like so silly ones, like the Halloween ones that were like, oh my Jesus. So
maybe this is the reason that I like too much Supernatural. It's it's of course it's about paranormal things, but it's not only so sad and so kill everybody. Come on, they make these mistakes. They mix both kind of things, right?
And now we are talking here about these two aspects of Supernatural. There is like the action part in which they have to hunt these paranormal supernatural creatures from the darkness, right? And there's also the comic relief part in which we have some episodes which are intended to like, okay, let's relax a bit.
Yes,
okay, let's
true.
not just
not tense all the time.
Yeah, not tense all the time, right? But what I also remember that there is a little bit of the drama aspect to the series. Okay, I remember like there is they had the intelligent, the very smart idea of putting a little bit of family drama in the series. We always have this thing happening in the family because the family is Sam, Dean, but there's also a father that happens to appear from time to time on the series, right?
And the mother too.
Yeah.
Okay. So
spoiler alert.
I'm sorry.
And let me say that the father is the same actor that does Negan in The Walking Dead. Yeah. Jeffrey Morgan, that's the name of the guy.
Excellent actor, by the way, right?
Yeah, he's going to be on The Boys too. The next season of The Boys, he's going to appear there. Yeah. Again with the guy that does Supernatural is in The Boys too, right? I forgot his name, but
Jensen.
Yeah, he is there too. So yeah, many people are there. Okay, so Andy and I, we talk about our favorite ones, and they are very famous one these days, right? I think almost everybody knows about Supernatural and Walking Dead. And now Daniel, what is yours?
Okay, so I'm gonna start asking another question to the two of you. Okay, Angie, how many episodes are there in a like a normal supernatural season?
I'm not sure, but I think 20,
Uh,
24,
20,
around
24
20.
episodes. So it's like each season is quite big, right? Many episodes.
Yes.
What
Mhm.
about The Walking Dead, Alessandro?
It varies, but usually like 10, 12,
10.
16. Like I think season 6, 7, they were like 16, but not more than that.
Okay, so I am gonna talk about a series that is not really like a series which has many seasons, and at the same time, it's a series that is considered to be a mini series because it's only 10 episodes, right? I'm gonna be talking one of not only probably my favorite horror series ever, or one of them, but also one of my favorite series ever, right? I could be talking here about, for example, one of the seasons of American Horror Story. I'm a fan of American Horror Story. I like the style of production. I like the way that the story is told. But I think that the American Horror Story is quite inconsistent. Some seasons are much better than others, so that's why I didn't choose a season of American Horror Story. And if I had chosen a season from that show, it would have been Asylum, right? Which is
The
the third.
second one.
Yeah, the second one, correctly. I'm sorry, I said the third. So that's why I chose a mini series that is called The Haunting of Hill House. According to Wikipedia, The Haunting of Hill House is a supernatural horror drama television miniseries.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's a supernatural aspect, there's the drama aspect, there's a lot of drama. And it's a series that is produced by a director called Mike Flanagan. And I have to admit that I can already consider myself a fan of Mike Flanagan because this is not the only series made by him that I have watched and that I am a fan of. There's also The Haunting of Bly Manor and Midnight Mass. These other two ones are mini series that were made by him, and they are like also in the same style of supernatural horror, but they are packed with drama. They are packed with very sad stories about people who have their own struggles, who have their own skeletons in their closets,
Okay.
and in the Haunting of Hill House, in this series case, we are talking about the typical haunted house story. Okay, there's like this family that lives in the house, and of course, the house is haunted by ghosts from the past. And not only the family that resides in the house have their stories, but also the ghosts in that house have their stories, and the stories are told as the series progresses. And all these layers of drama in the plot, mixed with the jump scares, there are plenty of jump scares and many Easter eggs that you have to pay attention to, make the series very complex, but at the same time very colorful. And that's like these reasons make me like it, enjoy it so much, and put it amongst my favorites because there are so many things to pay attention to. And I have to say that I have watched the series twice, and I watched it like a first time, and then at the very same time I finished it, I restarted watching it because I wanted to understand the story better, and I wanted to see many things happening better because again, because there are some episodes that are simply masterworks of horror and also drama and thriller, right? So this is my answer to the question. My favorite one, The Haunting of Hill House.
And the series, do you think that is something not in common, but have you ever heard about Amityville, the horror in Amityville? And
I have heard about
Mhm.
it, and I have already been recommended, but I have never watched
I
Amityville.
haven't watched any about it. I just remember when I was a kid again, when I was like I was into terror more than now, and horror. Sorry, and there was a book about the horror in Amityville, and when it were talking about a house that goes tell stories and etc. It reminds me that one. But it's like there are a main character. There is a main character. Sorry.
No, there isn't a main character. I would say that every character in the series, every living character in the series, is a main character.
Why? In the dead ones, no.
So the dead ones, some of them are as important as the living ones, okay? But the focus is on the living ones. This is a characteristic of Mike Flanagan's series, okay? Each character in the series, each person that is part of the main plot is as important as everyone else. And sometimes we even have he organizes the episodes in okay, this episode is going to focus on this person. So you can say that there is that person's episode. And then the next episode is going to be about that other character. And then each episode focus on one of the characters. And it's a way of telling the story that I think is amazing. It's quite different. It differs a little bit from most series because they're going to focus on the story of that person or how that person relates to the entire plot, to the entire story being told, right? So no, there aren't any main characters, and that's why already answering the next question, the probable next question, I don't have a favorite one. It's difficult to choose, right? It's difficult to choose a favorite character from among them. Maybe I can say that I have a favorite episode in the series. Okay, right now I'm checking here. The episode that is my favorite. My favorite episode is episode number 5, which is called "The Bent Neck Lady," and it explains many things in the series, and it already plants a lot of questions for the episodes to come. So it answers questions while creating other ones. It's
Great.
Very complex and creative way, right? If I had to compare The Haunting of Hill House maybe to another thing that has already been produced on cinema, I would compare it to The Others and also to Sixth Sign. These two movies are maybe movies that we can trace some characteristics and make some comparisons about the style and the type of thing that you're going to see.
So more like about ghosts, let's say.
Yeah, it's packed with ghosts, right? Packed with ghosts, really thrilling, and it's quite interesting for a person who is a person like me. I consider myself to be a very skeptical person. But here we are talking about art, and art is free to talk about whatever it wants to. And we are talking about quality, and the quality is something that excels in this series. It's really good quality show.
Yeah, I think that this is what you told about that no main character. It's strange because it's something new in storytelling. If you think about most of our books, our movies, our series, they have a main character and some people around him. And I think one of the guys that started, George Martin from Game of Thrones, the series too, but the books, right, is like that. And thinking about, of course, there's nothing to do about, but they are not related. But the thing that focus on one character, how they live, how they tell the story, one point of view, and no main character neither. So I think something new in storytelling, and I think it's amazing. I think we should have started this before, but okay, now we have this, and I think it's going to become more common now. We need to tell a story in a different way, not just like the savior again, the hero, right? So imagine, for example, our books here, our favorite books, Lord of the Rings, with many different point of views. Harry Potter, not being just Harry Potter, but the other views of the other guys. So it would be nice too. So it's a nice way of telling stories. And where can we find this series?
I cannot remember exactly, but I think Netflix. You can find them on Netflix. I don't have the answer on the tip of my tongue right now, but I think it's Netflix, right? I watched it on Netflix.
So probably it's a Netflix.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's a Netflix production, right? So
it's just on Netflix.
Okay. Yeah. Well, another interesting aspect about Mike Flanagan's series is that like you watch the series, it's not many episodes, it's like usually 10 episodes, and when you finish the series, you become an orphan of it because there's no follow-up. Like there's no the story doesn't continue. It ends there, like it's game over, right? And then you think, well, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna like it and I'm gonna fall in love with some of the characters, but then there is no more. What does Mike Flanagan do? On the other series, he recycles, or actually not, like he recycles the actors. He reuses the same actors as the previous show, with different characters. Of course, the characters are different, but while you are watching a new series directed by him, a new production, the story is completely different, but you are looking at that face, and then you feel familiar. You feel that warmth of maybe knowing that face, and that gives you a little bit of comfort amidst the tense feelings that you have while watching the series. So it's a good technique of maybe welcoming the viewer and making the viewer a little bit more comfortable, because the stories, they don't make you comfortable at all, right? Okay, guys. So I suppose that we can consider these 3 series as recommendations for the forthcoming Halloween, right? What you think?
Yeah, and we are going to put that one on our Instagram. So Bruno is going to put there some where you can watch the series that we are talking about. So after listening to us here talking about our favorite series here, and we talk about not just 3 but many others that we touch here. So you can watch that in your favorite stream. So Bruno is going to put that on our Instagram. So follow us there on Instagram at @SAP_cast, okay, or underscore in English, _cast. You can follow us there and you can see where I can watch this series they are talking about, especially because here we said the name in English. Of course, some of them, like Walking Dead, is the same name in Portuguese, but probably the Daniel's one, Supernatural, is like almost the same, but probably there is a different name in Portuguese. But they're not going to give him here. We need to go there to our Instagram account and take a look on that.
Yes, no Portuguese here. So, guys, I guess that's it. Alessandro, thank you so much for being our partner today and talking about our favorite series, which is something that we love, right?
Yeah, thank you so much for your recommendation too. I have heard about that, but I have never watched it. I'm going to put here on my list. Thank you so much.
Andy, thank you so much, lady.
Thank you, guys. And people who are listening to us, tell us which one is your favorite series. Share with us too. Which one do you think? Which one you agree with our opinions? You disagree? What do you think? Share with us. Come on.
Complain about us. Your opinion is not right. You are wrong. It's the best.
Maybe the Walking Dead fans will judge me there, but it's okay. I will survive.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for being with us, and see you next episode of the SAP cast, the SAP cast, with the Portuguese part and also the catch-up part with monthly new subjects for us to talk about, okay? A shout out to everyone out there. Also, Bruna, thank you for the production and the background. And see you later, alligator. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
And I'm going to watch the series that you're talking about.
You should. It's amazing. Like I even if you don't like maybe this style of horror story, like ghost story.